Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Jennifer Scrapping Cane. Today I'm sharing a double page layout, which is the Scraptember prompt for today. This is also a Scraproom kit that I am using on my own. This is not a design team layout, but I am on the design team and I will explain the full kit here. I have 4 photos of my older son and myself at a pumpkin patch when he was about 4 years old. And I love these photos, so I'm so excited to see this collection, and I think it matches really well with these photos. So here is Echo Park. Oh, what is this one called? Autumn. Oh, it's just called Autumn. It's Autumn. So anyway, sorry about that. Actually, it's Cartabella, not Echo Park, but either way, kind of made by the same company. But I love the texture of Cartabella. So here you get 3 pieces of pattern paper. And this comes in the flavors of the month kit. I love the leaf paper. That is my favorite. That one's going to shine bright on this layout. I have 2 pieces of cream cardstock. I'm going to use that as my background since it's a double page layout. And I'm going to piece it together so that I can make the papers stretch across both pages. I got enamel dots for the embellishment add-on. For the pattern paper add-on, I got 2 more pieces of pattern paper, a green and an orange, which are going to make amazing additions to that leaf paper. The other side is a pumpkin, and then the 2 sticker sheets and this white wood grain paper on the other side is cut apart. That is part of Shots of Life, which is another kit that the Scraproom offers. So here I have 4 kits that I'm playing with, and I am going to use bits and pieces from each one to create this layout. So here I have these 2 pieces of the leaf paper, and I wanted those to shine. Like I said, I wanted those to be a main part of this layout because I absolutely love them. And I think they look really great on the cream background. That adds a little extra something. Because, like I've said before, I don't really like plain backgrounds. So adding the leaf paper down over the cream was perfect. I didn't really feel like I needed to add any more because I'm going to add more colors from the rest of the papers, and I think it looks great. So I decided to put this green paper on also. It's like a lighter green color. But first, I'm going to add red borders all the way around the leaf paper. The red borders will go underneath the green papers, so they're only going to be basically on the left and the right side. And I like the way that looks. I'm using double-sided tape since they're, I believe they're 1/4 of an inch, so they're fairly thin. So here we go. I'm going to skip ahead here in a minute and it'll be all done. Actually, I think I just sped it up. I was kind of fighting and fumbling with them for a little bit, but I wanted to kind of leave the process in so you could see how I put it together since I didn't have another full piece of that red paper, and that is the back side of the leaf paper. So just using thin strips and going around the edge gave it the same effect as a double mat. So here I'm going to flip it back around. You can also see that I gutted one of the leaf papers because I want one of the photos to have a red mat. I also gutted the cream colored paper, which the background paper, so that I could map the photos in cream. And I used the cutoff part, but I also used a piece from the back side of the paper for the larger photos since they wouldn't fit on the 3 inches that I cut off to cut it down to 8.5 by 11. I wanted the green part to overlap the center of the layout, but I didn't want the red photo mat to overlap because I didn't want to cut this photo. I didn't want to cut it down anymore, and I didn't want to slice it since it is the one where he's sitting on the gray pumpkins, which the gray pumpkins were very ugly, and there was a big stack of them, and you were able to climb on the pumpkins and take pictures. They had little photo places, set up so you could take photos. So he totally was allowed to be climbing on the pumpkins, and he thought they were really neat. I thought they were ugly. But if you cut a green pumpkin or one of these green ones open, they're actually like a almost like a melon inside, and they're really neat, but they're very ugly. They're not very round or like a nice shape. They're kind of funny shaped. But anyways, I wanted to also add the darker green border to the light green paper in the middle. So that's going to go right there in the middle. I'm adding washi tape to the back where the papers meet together. That just keeps them together long term. And it also helps it go in the page protector a little bit better. So here I'm going to slow it down and give you a little close-up look at it just so you can see how it's all matted together. And the back might look a little crazy, but on the front it looks perfectly fine. And I love the way that it came out. I think the colors of the background papers really help pop the photos. I'm wearing a green colored sweater and then cream pants, and he's wearing like green khaki colored pants and a denim shirt. So I think it really just helps. And then all the orange in the photos. I went ahead and glued all the photos down off screen, and I'm going to get ready to embellish. You can see I brought my embellishments in over here on the side. I'm going to start with this cute truck, and that's just because I love the old truck, so I wanted to put it at the bottom. I decided to add the sunflowers poking out of the back of the truck just because I needed something a little bit higher up. So the flowers just seemed to be the best, and that's what I went with. This little title piece is going to serve as my title, even though it's tiny. I decided not to bring in any stickers from my stash and just use one of the stickers off the sticker sheet, and it says, "Let's go to the pumpkin patch." And I just thought that was perfect because that's exactly where we are. I'm going to add a little leaf, a flower, and then a little tiny pumpkin up there around the title. That gray pumpkin I created with cardstock and an oval cutter that just cuts out an oval shape. I did 3 ovals, stacked them together, and it looks like a pumpkin. I added a little green stem with cardstock, and then I'm using one of the stickers to add on top with that gray pumpkin. I created 2 more gray pumpkins, a darker gray and a lighter gray, and then adding another sunflower over here. I'm going to also add journaling because I already had it printed. And luckily, I had scraps of the same cardstock that I used for the journaling. And this journaling was created long ago. So I'm lucky to still have that cardstock in my stash. And the journaling just reads Rocky Mountain Pumpkin Patch. This year we saw some really neat and ugly pumpkins. Some were white, some were red and gray. And that's all I wrote because there is another page in the or in his album with more journaling. But I just thought I would add a little bit of journaling on this layout. And I did add the year 2002 with stickers. As I hold it up, you'll notice the word pumpkins is actually missing off of the layout. I did find it still on my table. Luckily, I didn't throw it away. It didn't stick, so I had to go back and put it back down. But it is in the close-ups. You'll see it here in just a minute. Here's the title piece, and then here is the journaling complete. Please like and subscribe if you're new here, and I will leave links down below for the scrap room. There's also a playlist for Scraptember, and I will see you in the next video tomorrow. Thanks for coming by. Bye.